Like, I'm not a selfie guy. Trust me, you're never gonna see me like at the gym like one of those douchebags in the fucking mirror. I hate those guys. If you do that, you should die.
Yeah, you jerk. So now you're talking shit about two people.
John Tella, the Bayonne Bruiser. Thanks for joining us here in the studio.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Where'd you get the nickname, the Bayonne Bruiser?
You. It was you. No one else ever called me that. It was always whatever you said on commentary for some reason stuck. That Mayor Scumbag City.
The Mayor Scumbag City.
It's not a bad gimmick, but I never came up with that. I just stuck with John, or douchebag, as most people like to prefer to me as.
Do you thrive on being like, you want to be like the douchebag? You want to be a guy that everybody hates?
Bro, I've said this from day one that I got into this, like the day when I set foot in the Gino school. When he told me, he goes, not saying you can't be a babyface, but I look at you and I see nothing but an asshole. And I was like, bro, you're 100% right. My goal from day one is to have someone try to stab me.
Really?
How old school is that? What was that? Bruiser Brody was the one that got stabbed, even though it was by one of the boys, but still, like, in general, Terry Funk has been stabbed, Shane Douglas has been stabbed.
Fred Blassie would be proud of you. He once had acid thrown on himself, on his face in a pink Cadillac as well.
Exactly. Give
and
me
he
that
loved
heat.
it.
Give me that heat, because that means you're doing your fucking job.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that want to be the cool heel, like, cheer me, but I'm gonna say some dickish shit that's just gonna make you laugh. I want you to think I murdered your mother. That's the kind of anger I want out of people. I think I've done pretty decent job. Pretty decent job at that.
I think you get a lot of good heat at shows from what we've seen.
Well, it's easy compared to some guys that don't want it. They're afraid of the heat, or they don't know how to evoke that emotion from people. So they're, you know, I have a couple of people in mind that think like, I get so much fucking heat and I'm the shit. And it's like no one cares about you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna say that to the guy. Like, whatever, man. If you're happy with what you're doing, you're happy with what you're doing. But too many people are too full of themselves.
And you got the reputation also that you're like a loner. Like that's like what you're portrayed on television, but you actually are a loner?
Yeah. Not. I'm so antisocial. It's fucking ridiculous how I'm doing what I do in that ring and being able to like yell shit at random people in the crowd and like get that kind of character over when really it's not much of a character. It is me. It's crazy because if you see me in a party setting, we can be in this room. There'll be 100 people in this room and everyone can be my friends, right? I'll still be in that corner, kind of like just looking at my phone, just can't wait to go home. I don't want to. It's not that like. I'm not an outgoing person.
You do your job. You come in, you work, and then you're out.
I go home
because we never see you in the diner when the crew and I we go out. We eat with Dan. We eat with all the guys.
Yeah.
You're never there.
Never.
No. Well, I think they learn not to even ask me anymore.
Here's the thing with you though, John. When your humor is like, it's something you gotta get to know you.
There's no boundaries in my jokes, so like I'll just say awful shit just for a laugh, and then some people will take that seriously, and it's like, okay, then I know we're not in the same game plan. It's like as far as comedy or anything I can talk to you about. You know, if you can take a joke and then your humor is good, and I can see that, then I'm cool with being around you.
When we started getting to know each other, we all got to know you at the same time when we started with ECPW, the first taping probably a year and a half ago or so. So when you came to do promos, at the time you were feuding with Tony Rush.
Yes.
And you said some things like, I forgot what
just when Trump was running for
president.
president.
Trump, and you loved that, and everybody was hating Trump, and they still do, a lot of people. Yeah. But you used that to get so much heat, because you know what it would trigger people.
Bro, the best part about that was I was cutting a promo before Trump won, and I was sitting in like a staircase of that awful building in the Elks Lodge that I got ultimately kicked out of, even though we're sitting in the hallway staircase, and Apollo was recording. I think it was before you guys came, or you guys just had gotten there. And I'm cutting this promo, and I'm like, yeah, I forget the whole gist of it, but the ending was, I'm gonna make our future president proud by beating the shit out of this illegal immigrant.
What better way to make a Donald Trump proud as our future president than beating up an illegal immigrant?
Oh my God.
People got so fucking angry at me for that. And the funniest part is I'm not even registered to vote. Like I don't even, but I'll push that envelope to get the heat from it. Especially I'm working for Felipe, who's a Dominican guy and the ultimate baby face.
Can he have a bad match with anybody?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if the person's willing to let him do what he can do, then no. See, the thing is, when me and him started our feud, we got ourselves over together. Where before then, whoever we worked, you know, it's you're a big man, kid. So like, you know, big shoulder tackle and you know maybe drop an elbow in the middle. You know, quick and easy, right? Where he was getting squashed, and then no one was letting him do what he can do. Where at training, me and him were, you know, doing 5-6 matches in a row, back to back, all different. And then we really got to know each other and the chemistry was there. And ultimately, you know, we became very good friends.
And you guys started closing out shows, having street fights all around you know, New Jersey, New York. I mean, this was street fights people were still talking about.
Well, the first match we had was at the Elks Lodge in Paramus. And then Gino booked it because I kept pushing. I'm like, hey, Gino, what am I doing for TV? I don't know yet. I go, how about Felipe? We'll see. We'll see. He kept pushing off, kept pushing off.
About the one in Butler, you guys kicked the shit out of each other. In that,
Butler. I don't even remember being in Butler.
There was one in Butler. You guys had
there was one in Bayonne too.
And then one in Bayonne. Oh, that's the one. We did the commentary for that one.
There was two street fights in Bayonne.
That's the one I meant. I'm sorry, not Butler.
Yeah.
In Bayonne. You guys freaking killed each other.
Yeah.
And you, for like a crowd of like maybe 100 or so. But man, those 100 people were like in it. Yeah.
They have fat heads of me and shit.
They had fat
crazy.
heads.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
That was funny.
But our first match, they didn't want us, I don't want to say names, but they don't want us doing much. It was like, you know, maybe, you know, ended with like Felipe doing a duck the line, couple drop kicks, you know, quick and easy. I'm like, yeah, sure. We go out there, man, and I'm doing power shit while he's doing his crazy dives, and you know, we're going out. So that first match, we made it known that we can go and we can work, and then from that point on, it's just mostly us working our character and, you know, continuing our storyline. Where we took the initiative, where we were filming our own promos, we were doing our own like backstage segments and shit. Where you know no one else was asking us to do that, but we knew it was ultimately on us to get ourselves over.
You took the initiative, and you guys used social media to your advantage.
Absolutely.
The thing
That's what it's there for.
The thing is, even we talked about it, O'Neal and I, like, a lot of these guys don't use social media to their advantage, and you guys got, like, thousands and thousands of followers, new every day. Like,
stupid.
Nobody's tagging themselves or making promos. Like, you did that excellent promo, the one, remember we mentioned before Saturday's Magic Show, when you were talking about Meadowlands Monster, and you said, I'm going to make sure your kids don't recognize you. And I was like, what an... And I'm watching going, wow, what an asshole. I was like... And you made that promo by yourself with the back of a pickup truck, and you had, like, this is what I'm going to bring. And you had, like, the tables. I was like, this is genius.
I take pride in those because it's one and done normally, those promos. Like, the whole Scumbag City thing all stemmed from a quick promo, a 10-second promo that I cut on Tony Rush before our first street fight in Bayonne, where, you know, I was have your mother take pictures of your face now because you're gonna be unrecognizable afterwards. Welcome to Scumbag City. And I just kept walking, and then from there I had my friend recording, and he's going, that's fucking it. Like, there's no better than that. And then from that point, when I posted it and I kept seeing like Scumbag City, Scumbag City, Scumbag City, and I'm like, fucking done. It's like done. That's a new shirt right there. Pay me decent money. It works.
Where did you train?
I started off with Gino Caruso at ECPW. I was going on 3 years now, so I was about 22, 23. Because I originally started, and then I was working for a hardware store. I don't want to say the name because I'm probably gonna trash them later. And we can see how lawsuits come from podcasts and everything else with certain people. So, congrats, punk. Anyway, so I was fucking killing myself at this place. So I was only at the training for like 2 months, if that, and then I fucked my back up, and I couldn't like bend over to tie my shoes. I couldn't do anything really, but I was still working, so I was like, I can't bump on this. I went to a chiropractor and I got x-rays done, and he was telling me the base of my spine was compressed. It was starting to curve, and I lost like a ½ inch in height and everything else. So then for a while, for like 6, 7 months, my back was shot. Then I got the DDP yoga, and that actually saved my back.
Wow.
I got my ½ inch in height back. My back is doing better than ever. And then after I felt good for like 4 months after that, after doing that continuously, I went back because Gino kept calling me throughout the time, like, hey pal, you good? How you feeling? You coming back? You coming back? Eventually I got back, and then it was like, you know, I was like a new guy, you know? And then I went back there around, I'm trying to think, it was 2018 now. I'm going on 3 years, so 2014, April 2014-ish or 15. I was training from April, and then I had my first match in September against Aaron Bradley. And then, you know, it was just all from there.
And you always worked as a heel, like naturally, like
Yeah,
Gino saw you
yeah.
as a heel.
Yeah, there's no looking at me as a babyface. You know, there's no fucking way. I can't. And even when I do it joking around, like in training when I work the new guys and like they gotta learn how to work characters and be heels and babyfaces and like they gotta do the heel gimmick and I'm just fucking around. I'll try babyface Tella and this shit never works. It's so fucking awkward.
It's
Like,
unnatural.
hey, come on, cheer for this
Yeah.
guy. You know, it never works that way.
But that's what attracts a lot of people to you as like the cool heel. I mean, you even talked about, I don't know if you want to mention it, but like you had some fans actually contacted you about they want to put you in a video game or
Yeah, I had last week I had a kid hit me up. He's about 14. Hit me up and he was like, "Hey, I'm a huge fan. I made action figures of you." So he made 2 action figures and he made one for himself and he made one for me. He gave it to me this past Saturday against the match with Meadowlands Monster. So while I'm picking fucking thumbtacks out of my back, I'm taking this kid's toy and it's really awesome. And then I took a picture with him and shit, which is really cool. And then he messaged me today and he was like,
smile?
"No, absolutely, come on, I'm not breaking kayfabe. Fuck, I don't give a shit."
Well,
if
you
he gave me a
almost
toy.
did when you took the toy without biting the head off and spitting it back at the kid.
I'm like, Ozzy, there's no bird. You know, if it was a bird, I'll do it. Get the heat. But but then he messaged me today and he was like, I made a new one and he made another one. Wow. And this one's fucking better than the other one. And I'm like, I really want that one. You know, like I want that one. Then yesterday a kid hit me up, a different kid, and was like, "Hey, I got a quick question on my DMs and Instagram." And the first thing I thought of, I go, if I'm not following somebody, since when the fuck did they DM me? And it shows right up. Like I was confused at first. I was like, this is weird. And then he goes, "Do you have any photo pics?" And I was like face pics. And I go, that's even weirder. Like now I'm even more creeped out. And I was like, why? And he was like, "I want to create you in 2K. And I was like, oh shit, that's awesome, man. And I was like, whatever's on my Instagram. Like I'm not a selfie guy. Trust me, you're never gonna see me like at the gym like one of those douchebags in the fucking mirror. I hate those guys. If you do that, you should die. So then he did that, and then he got my logos like that one that I wear on my in-ring singlet. He put that all in the game, and then like he sent me the after picture, and it's all together, and legit looks like me. I've never seen something like that.
How did that make you feel?
I should be like, that's awesome, and I should feel like happy that someone's willing to do that. But my self-esteem is so shitty that I immediately looked at it and I went, why would you waste your time doing that for me? Like, and the same thing with the kid with the toy. Like, I didn't get why me. Like, I don't see the special thing about it. I immediately think like, I don't deserve that. You know, I don't deserve like anything like that. For someone to waste their time doing something like that is really fucking cool. But
It's the fans that you've reached. I mean, they obviously took the time because they, you know, either they want to create you in the video game so they could beat you up, but still.
Either way, you're still putting the
they're
effort
putting
in
the
there.
effort
Time,
in.
right. Like time you can do at a job and get paid for. You're wasting your time making me
You're making an impact.
as a plastic toy or me in a video game. Is still like, it fucking baffles me. You know, like I don't think I deserve that kind of like, that people like me that much. Yeah, I feel weird about it.
Now, Neil, as the sound technician, have you ever had to like edit out a lot of Mr. Tella's comments and things like that on the television tapings?
Well, when it's like ECPW, because it's televised, I have to cut a lot of stuff out. But like this past...
My bad, bro.
Yeah, it's cool. I enjoy it. Well, everything I cut doesn't just end up on the floor. I stick it in another folder.
Yeah.
And we just have hours of like...
Bro, I purposely say shit to see if it gets through.
Oh.
And
things
sometimes
slip.
it gets through.
Things slip, yeah.
Sometimes I get through, and I'm like, I wonder if Optimum called Gene. I'm like, you can't fucking have this on our show. Like, you have children in the audience and tell them to go die. Like, you can't.
Yeah, he said some things. He's like, hey guys, you know, so and so said this. I can't have that.
How many of those conversations were based on me? Just curious.
I don't know. Mike sees him the most. So.
Mike, how many times did he go tell it slipped and you guys didn't catch it?
A good handful.
A good handful.
Good handful. Yeah, that's accurate.
It makes me pop when I hear it go through and I'm like, I won. That's,
Yeah.
Usually I'm forgetting to cut the camera mic or something.
Yeah, it's something that slips. You know, we got so much going on. Like, whoops.
The thing is, because you never rehearse what you're gonna say, everything comes from your heart.
Yeah.
You just one take and that's pretty much it. The only time we ever had to do another take with you, I remember we did an interview probably because we went over 30 seconds.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Gino doesn't want anybody to go over 30 seconds because it's a
Yeah.
30-minute program.
Right. The thing, but it was like that was deep in. I forget what the storyline was, but like that was deep into some match I was having. So like I had a lot to say, and it was hard to condense it in that 30-second time frame. But like, yeah, you know, man. Like every time me and you had to cut something, like you're like, you ready? I'm like, you good? And you go, yeah, I go. Let's do it. Done, and it's one and done. And I'm like, we good? I'm like, perfect. All right, I'm going to change.
Not a lot of people have that, like where you could just one and done it, walk out. You know, people sit there for a while.
I think Dan is like probably.
Dan's great. I fucking love Dan.
Dan the man.
I love
he's
Dan.
Phenomenal.
I was so happy to work with him.
Yeah,
I was so happy to work
that
with him.
was unusual. It was fun to watch because it was different. We never seen it.
It made no
but to
sense.
have a heel versus heel.
It made no sense. I don't know why it happened. I don't get the reasoning behind it. I mean, I have an idea, but I'm not gonna say. But he.
I want to turn you babyface.
Yeah, that's not fucking happening.
Is that what happened? Yeah.
That was not happening.
That's what I'm suspecting, but
yeah.
Especially when you hit this guy with the baseball bat, one of the guys from Team Shazam. What's his name? He's like one of the newest guys.
Luther?
He does the thrust. Luther.
Yeah.
He like almost killed him.
I cracked the shit out of him with that bat.
That looks good on film. And like,
Cracked the fuck out of him.
on commentary.
I'm like, Mike, did you get that, Mike? Did you get that, Mike? When you hit him so hard?
I think Apollo said John just committed murder on television.
Yeah, he did. That was before taping. Yeah, he was doing the commentary.
It was when I walked in that day. I was running a little late because like to get to Richfield Park from Bayonne is like a 45-minute drive without traffic. So it usually takes me like an hour to get there. So by the time I walked in, you know, I'm saying my hellos. I didn't even look at the card yet because I didn't know how it was working. I was figuring I got time, and I see Dan, and Dan goes, "Yo, it's me and you tonight." And I laughed at him. I go, "Fuck you! I'm not working you. Like, you're not ripping me. Like, get out of here." So I say the rest of my hellos. I go look at the card. I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm working Dan." And I walked up. I go, "All right, my bad, bro. I thought you were fucking with me." And he goes, "Nah, man." And I was like, "What do you want to do?" Which is really cool for a guy that's been working that long to immediately ask me like, you know, your call. What do you want to do? And you know, we laid it out, and then we did a lot of like good stuff in that match to the point when I came in the back. Gino came up to me and was like, multiple people just told me that's the best match you ever had here, which is great to hear, but it's like, if it wasn't for Dan giving me the okay to be like, whatever you want to do, you know, let's do it. That set the tone for like these 4 or 5 other matches that we did that were like crazier every other match. So I mean, I love Dan. Dan's great. Just don't ever let him attack you from behind because he doesn't know how to do a working punch. And he cracks you in the back of the head.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dan. Don't think I forgot. But
speaking about Dan, I mean, who else in the locker room? I mean, it doesn't matter which locker room, but who else you have really good chemistry in the locker room that you like?
Oh, Tony Rush is the number one. Me and Rush don't ever have to talk about anything. We can just, right from the lockup, from the feel of the lockup, I know where he's going. I don't have to call shit with Rush. I'm great with Rush. Like I just said, Dan. Marcos, we call him Boulder because he's just like a fucking round rock. But he's starting to like get it more.
Yeah.
And I give it like another 6 months to a year.
He's only like 19 years old.
Yeah, like another 6 months to a year, he's gonna be really like working his ass off and he's gonna get a lot better. So for a guy that's only been doing it for such a short amount of time, he's really picking it up. And I worked him in Bayonne. The match wasn't phenomenal because the character wasn't completely there, because they had him working babyface, and Mark's not a great babyface. But the match, it's a solid match. He knows like how to work in placement and ring psychology and shit. It's just depending on the character.
You prefer working like the smaller guys like a Tony Rush, that you could be like towering, be a monster, or somebody like Lou, Meadowland's monster, like that crazy match you guys had at Pro Wrestling Magic?
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because there's different things I could do with both guys. You know, I can make Rush look insane and let him do all his crazy high spots, and I'm gonna catch him and I'm gonna be there for every catch every time. To the point that I spoiled him, because every crazy ass dive he went for, I caught him regardless. To where the next feud he went to, he's cracking his back on the side and he's falling and banging up his hip, and I was like, you missed me, don't you, bitch? Because you know, like no one else is gonna catch you like I was. To the point the dude never hit the ground. Like I caught him, he just right on his feet perfectly. Same thing with Lou. Lou gives me an opportunity to show my athleticism, because I can do dives and I can do kip ups and all that other shit, but like I'm not gonna do it against someone like Tony Rush or Junior Flo, because that's their shit. I shouldn't take theirs. Like, what are they gonna do if I do it, right? So working Lou, I can showcase my athleticism. So it's either way, it works. I love working Junior Flow. Junior's great. Me and him had a bunch of good matches. I enjoyed working his old man, Frankie. Yeah, man. Everyone I haven't worked somebody that was like, I fucking hate working this guy. At least not yet. And I don't want to get to that point, but.
I'm sure when the time comes, you're not shy to be vocal.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's only a matter of time. But
let's talk about Pro Wrestling Magic. I mean, this is a rising promotion, a big buzz on the internet for Pro Wrestling Magic. Yeah. How did you get your foot in the door with Magic, and did you ever see yourself with how you progressed right now?
From the moment I heard about them and I saw the crowds that they were drawing and the kind of matches they were putting on, I wanted to go there. But like, I didn't know Steve. I didn't even know Steve was the promoter or anything like that. So like, I didn't know who to reach out to. And then they had the Kill the Magic group where they needed a big guy, and the big guy that they had planned at the night couldn't make it, and it was supposed to be his debut. The week before that, I worked Junior Fro at LAW, and with a referee who I never had before in a match. Me and Junior killed it, and the ref said that the ref did little shit with me. Like he was like, chase me out of the ring, and I just chased him out of the ring. Like I didn't hesitate. I didn't do like a lot of guys. Like if you just call shit in the ring, they give you the what, and then they go, oh, they got to process shit instead of just listening and going. So I just listened and I went, and then I chased him out, and he did his gimmick. Like get out of there, leave him alone, because I tagged Junior after the match because I'm a piece of shit. Like in every match, so I got to do cheap attacks. And that ref was also reffing at Magic. And they were all in like, who are we gonna get? I don't know who's around, like who can we call? And the ref said, I just worked with this guy from ECPW.
Which referee this is?
Gigante.
Okay.
He's fucking great, I love him, he's great. Without him, I wouldn't be there. So I owe him one, and I owe you, Master. So then he goes, what about the bald guy from ECPW? And then, because he only remember me for that one moment, so I don't expect him to remember my name. Right. And then Aaron Bradley was like, who? Because Bradley came from ECPW.
He knows, yeah.
And then he was like, bald dude, big bald dude. He's got the goatee, he's smart, he knows what he's doing, he listens, And he was like, Tella, and he's like, yes. And Bradley goes, I'll call him right now, see where he's at. So I'm with my friend, thinking I have a Saturday off, just bullshitting. And I get the call, and Bradley messages me, and he goes, yo, call me right now. And I was like, I'm just thinking like some fucking locker room drama bullshit. Like I'm not expecting to get a book, because a lot of that nonsense happens. It's like fucking high school. Like, oh, so-and-so said this about you, and so-and-so doesn't like.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
I want to know who has the guts to say something.
Oh, they won't.
But we'll get to that in a second. But this is fascinating.
So then I call him back. I'm like, yo, what's up? He goes, what are you doing right now? And I was like, none. Show my boy. He goes, can you work right now? He goes, I got you a spot at Magic. You're getting paid, or you win.
How many hours before the show is this?
It's an hour into the show.
It's an hour into the show as it's happening.
Yeah, it was like, it's an hour into the show, and he goes, how far are you from the building? And I was like, like a half hour, 45 minutes. He goes, all right, get here as soon as possible. He goes, we got a spot for you. You're not even really wrestling. You're just doing it right now. I was like, word, and I'm getting paid? You got it, bro. And then me and my friend both went, drove out there. I'd never driven that fast. I got a 20-year-old pickup truck, and I never pushed it that hard. I thought this shit was gonna break down on the side.
And you already had your gear in the car?
No, I had to run home, grab my shit, pick my friend back up because he wanted to see.
See, you're old school, but they say in the old school you should always have your gear.
Well, yeah, when you go to another shows, I'm not gonna fucking go to my boy's house as he's getting shit-faced. I'm just watching a UFC fight with him, and then
you should always have it with you in the car.
I have a pickup truck. I got $300 boost. I'm not gonna let some fucking crackhead in Bayonne steal them.
Front seat. Yeah, so we'll paint the picture here. You're an hour into the show at Magic. You get the call from Bradley.
Yeah.
You get there. You're driving with that pickup truck as fast as you ever had.
Yep.
What happens next?
So I get to the building. I run to the side door where our entrance is. I see Bradley. As soon as I see Bradley, he gives me a big smile and he hugs me and he goes, you fucking are the man. And I was like, this is great. I got introduced to who I needed to be introduced to. And I go out there with them. I immediately started getting heat. And I really didn't need to say shit. But then, as the fans love to say, fuck you, bald Cass, to me, which I was no-selling that completely. Like, the fans say whatever the fuck they want, and I'll go back with them. But that thing I never wanted to, like, go back with it. I was like, I don't need that shit being the thing. But, like, and now it's like, there's nothing I can do about it. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. And I just want to say, Cass looks like Tella with hair. So, He's not. I don't look like him. He looks like me.
Hopefully, we'll see Big Cass in action. I mean, he just, sadly
Newly
he's released from
released.
WWE, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll see Big John Tella and Big Cass.
The money's right. Let's do it. I'm a businessman. I'll do it. But yeah, I ran out. Did a run-in on their tag match, and then they were impressed with what they saw.
And thank God you didn't get like drunk or
Yeah, I don't drink. I don't.
Oh yeah, because you said you were out with your friends. I'm just curious. Like, you thought you had no plans. This
Yeah.
is what's fascinating about it. It's just the way
Shit falls into
how
place.
how
yeah.
things just fall into place. And look where you are today. I mean,
Yeah, I
right
got
now
lucky.
you're one of the top guys in Magic right now, and you guys just.
I'm in a
I
top
would-
group. I wouldn't say I'm a top guy.
You really are modest because, I mean, you came in, you had no story built in Magic. It's not like they had to create something. You already, a lot of people in that building know who you are already. And
Well, not really. That fan base is completely different from the other companies that I work for in that building. Like ECPW has their own fans. Magic has like that hardcore cult internet fan base. Like the guys have like on fucking Facebook groups like, oh, do you think Magic's gonna get cast now that he's released? Like those guys, and like that's completely.
what's different about
separated.
Magic is that they don't show their full match. You would have to watch it on, I guess, their video on demand service, or because it's not like it's shown on DVD or
No.
something that you can get.
You
have to be there.
You want it. You have to be there.
It's an
and-
experience.
Yeah, and you should if you're a real fan. I mean, every match is phenomenal. There's not a bad match on the card. Everyone's going out there busting their balls, and they're the men and women there. They know what they're doing.
The moment for me that I saw you as a top guy in Magic was when you and Lou like just tore the house down.
Yeah, well, we both knew. That was my first high-profile match there. That was Lou's first high-profile match there, and we both know each other, and we know what we can do. And I looked at it as we need to show them that we belong here, because the work that's being done there is so much higher than a lot of other places. That like if you have a string of shitty matches, there's gonna be no reason to keep you. If you're botching every spot and you're not where you're supposed to be and you're missing your timing and your ring psychology is off and
You're under more scrutiny. A lot of
absolutely,
yeah.
especially with that kind of fan base where they don't take that shit lightly. If you work your ass off, they respect that and they'll put you over a huge. But if if I'm shooting off for a fucking shoulder tackle and I bump when the other guy was supposed to bump, like it just a little shit like that will ruin everything. So like that fan base is a lot hardcore, and I wanted to prove this to the promoter and the owner and everyone back there that I belong there, and they didn't make the mistake by getting me. And my goal is that for Lou, because I don't look good if Lou doesn't look good. Lou doesn't look good if I don't look good. And we took that into consideration, and like we're going balls out now, and we're gonna kill each other. But we didn't like really hurt each other. Like we know what we're doing. But yeah, man, some of the spots, like the day I got the call like that, you and Lou, fans bring the weapons match, all that. I was like, immediately the first thing came to mind. I was like, how you cool with a pile driver? he was like, yeah, I trust you. I'm like,
You did it right off the side of the apron.
right on the apron.
Yeah.
Right on the apron. I was like, that's because that's that kind of crowd that would like pop hard.
It wasn't
for that
like,
shit.
I mean, Kevin Owens doing that to Sami Zayn at NXT. That looked devastating, but when he did the
power bomb.
But, I mean, you did a pile driver. I mean,
Yeah.
wrong slip up. You could have cracked his head. He could have been.
I'm a professional, man.
But
I know
that's what
doing.
I'm saying. But what the thing is to have that confidence, to have
That
a big
shit
match.
looked so beautiful though. It was
Yeah.
so perfectly
It was.
straight and flush.
And I had the honor of actually calling the match. I was sitting at the high spots table. I remember the same morning, Mike and O'Neill messaged and they say, hey, well actually I read in the group chat that they're gonna be filming Magic, and they don't put any pressure on me to go, but I was like, man, I wanna go.
Yeah, really.
I said I wanted to go. I was like, you know what?
excited to go.
I was excited to go. I was like, I'm going. So I was like, I'm gonna go. And so and the thing is like, my hair was all fucked up and everything, and I remember at the same time I'm on my way to go and getting a shape up, I'm messaging you and Lou together.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, hey man, can you guys just give me some info on your
Yeah, I was at-
what's
I was
going
at the
on with
gym.
Magic?
Yeah, I was at the
and you're at
gym.
the gym, and I was like, man, I gotta get. But what I loved about Magic was when we got to the building, they already had like everything there, like a whole format. And I was like, wow, this is really like.
They're professional.
This is really like.
They work hard.
They had they had everything, the story, and I already had it from you guys, but it's almost like, wow, this is really cool.
But like I was saying about those fans though, like the last month, I've gotten about like 600 Facebook ads. Not even on my fan page. Like these fans find out who you are. They add you. They'll message you. Like they'll tag you and shit. Like wrestling shit. I'm like, I don't even know. Like you're in Illinois, bro. What are you doing?
Well, you got recognized at Ring of Honor when you were invited.
Fucking unbelievable.
You want to share that story?
So embarrassing.
Yeah,
I hate being
Let's
recognized.
tell some of the people who have.
I hate being recognized. not that like I'm being a dick, like don't come near me thing, but it's like back to the self-esteem thing. Like I'm no
Where does
different.
that come from? Where does the low self-esteem come from? Because you're a big guy. You look like you can handle yourself physically.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what is it? What is it that makes your self-esteem? Like,
I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know. I don't think. I think that's why I go so above and beyond, because I want to show like I'm working my balls off.
Do you always
get
feel
things
like you have something to prove?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I have to. You have to, because they're gonna look at it as you're a big guy, so that's why you're booked, right? So then my promos need to be good, because I gotta show I can talk. I can't be that guy that's just gonna stand there doofusly looking at the crowd like, hi, I'm fucking 7 foot tall. I'm not that guy, so like I gotta prove I'm a big dude, but I can work and I can talk and I can fit all these different criterias to make you realize that I'm deserving of my spot and not just some big oaf that just walked into the school one day and Gino looked at him and goes, you're a big guy, I can use you. You know, I'm making sure that that fact isn't done. But like, if I'm out in public and people recognize me, like at that Ring of Honor show, there was a lady in the front, in the row ahead of me, and I'm with 3 of my other friends, and we're watching a show, and it's at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York. So we're watching it, and she looks back, and she goes, I know you. And I was like, nah, you don't. She goes, yeah, you work at, you wrestle for Magic. I was like, nope. She goes, it's you. And I was like, no, it's not me. She goes, you're John Tella. I go, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. Like, I don't know. I don't know who this is. And I was like, is he booked here? And she was like, no, Magic. I was like, he's a magician? Like, I'm just being a dick now. Like, I don't know who this guy is. My friend knows how uncomfortable I get. Like, my best friend knows how uncomfortable I get with these things. So he overhears it, which I got annoyed at because it was in between matches. So, like, there's nothing really going on. So he's paying attention and just sees me talking to this lady. So he's like, the fuck? And he overhears and he hears me and goes, nah, I'm not John Tella. He waits like a minute, right? Things calm down. I think I'm finally winning. I'm like, listen, lady, I'm not John Tella. I don't know who you're talking about. This jerk off comes out with his phone. He has his phone out and he's like, holy shit, John Tella, can I get a photo with you? And I'm like, you fucking douche. A week later, I'm booked at Magic. I'm outside in front of the building on the phone. The same lady comes up and she goes, I fucking knew it was you. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen you before in my life. I was born in Bayonne. 5th grade, I moved down to Manahawkin, New Jersey for like a year. And then I came back to Bayonne. I went to high school there. I used to cut 8th period every day.
What was their 8th period class?
I got it to be gym for 4 years. Every year. Like I worked my way. I got a freshman year and I used to cut 8th period every day. And then sophomore year, they moved to the 2nd period. And I was like, shit, I gotta come up with something. So then I went to my guidance.
Why were you cutting gym class?
Oh, why not? I didn't want to, why stay there? Like I already knew I could beat all the kids at basketball. Why was I gonna stick around? So I just wanted to go home early. And then I went to my guidance counselor. I'm like, listen, I have a hyperactive sweat gland. I didn't even know it's a fucking thing. I just thought it sounded good. So like I have a hyperactive sweat gland and I sweat a lot. So I need to shower immediately after doing anything like physical, running, anything. And she was like, all right, well, get a note from your doctor. And I was like, shit, I thought that was gonna work. So then I go to this Indian lady who I've never seen before. And I was like, I'm trying to explain to her, like, I sweat like crazy. Like deodorant doesn't help at all. And I'm just lying. I'm thinking of my one friend who like fucking sweats when he eats, right? Because everything gets drenched. So I'm like trying to use that, like use every bit of him in my own story. And she's like, okay, well, here's a note. And she gave me the note. I brought it to my guidance counselor and I got fucking gym, 8th period for all 4 years.
That's how you do it.
That's how you leave early. So I take it you left early every day. You didn't play sports?
I wasn't allowed to.
Why?
I got into a little bit of trouble. So freshman year, this is how you know your public school sucks and it's a shitty school. because if they make you wear a uniform in a public school, you're in a shit area, right?
They were making you wear uniforms for play on high school.
Yeah, so freshman year they didn't, and then they set that in motion my sophomore year, right? And I was like, I'm not spending, because the shirts are like $25 a shirt with a fucking B on the corner. And I was like, I'm not gonna waste money on that. I just get a black shirt, right? So then I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I refused to wear it, and then every day I was going to my VP's office, and he was not having enough. Like, he was like, I've had enough of you and your shit. So then we kept having words, and then the one time,
You just proved that John Tella is not a gimmick. I've said that numerous times on your Facebook posts when people would write and they would test you and say, I'm gonna kick your ass. And I'm like, listen, he's not a gimmick. He will kick your ass. If you piss him off, he's gonna kick the shit out of you.
I sent him the address.
You didn't say come to the show, and I'm like, he's gonna catch a lawsuit if somebody comes to the show, pisses you off, and you kick the shit out of him.
That's the weird part. Like, I've gotten this fan, here's an action figure of you, and I want to make you in 2K, and I do all this, and then there's another guy going, I'll kick the shit out of you, and I'm like, word, here's my next event. I'm not hard to find. I'll probably be on the second half of the show. Message me on Facebook, and then I'll meet you outside before I even have my match. Because it's not the first time I got into a fight with somebody before my match even started. Like that one fan that slapped me in the face.
Oh, you know what? Can we cue that up?
Nice snapback, pal. This shit doesn't get efficient. Snap back. Good. What are you gonna do? Good, okay. Come on, what do you want to do?
Oh, shit.
Wait.
Who do you think you hit?
My match didn't even start yet. I was walking out to the ring. This guy's wearing a snapback like that, but the opening was a little more, and his shit was so tight that his forehead was protruding through, right? And he's going, it's fucking 90 degrees out. What the fuck you wearing a fucking wool cap? And I'm like, how about you get a fucking snapback that fits, you fat fuck? Like, I was like, going back, I'm like, come on, what are you gonna do, right? So now, this is the old building, which is one of the reasons we got kicked out of there. It was the lower ring, so he's like leaning against it, and he's looking at me like a bulldog, like just like heavy breathing. I was like, all right, is this guy working?
He was working, but you're not. I mean,
but I thought he was trying to work me, so I'm like, all right, whatever. And I'm like, come on, tough guy, you want to come in the ring? Come out in the ring. This fat tub of shit moved the guardrail all the way up to the apron, right? Moves it up to the apron, slaps me, right? And immediately I took the slap, I took my head off, I threw that shit down. I was gonna punch him in the teeth. What happened was, he slaps me, and then he goes to sit back down like nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing happened.
Like there's no repercussion with that. So I'm like, all right, you fucked up now. I jumped over the guardrail, I got out, and he sat down, so I immediately took this hand and this bone here, and I jabbed it into his Adam's apple, and I strangled him. The best part was, that guy was just at the Allendale show, and I was outside, and he walks by with his fucking suspenders on, and he goes, hey bro, what's going on? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this isn't gonna work. We're not buddies here. Like, I'm not working you, pal. Get the fuck away from me. I want nothing to do with you.
That was a real moment. If anybody has any,
And that's before the match even happened.
Right.
So then, Tony Rush is behind the curtain, and he's like, warming up and shit, because the heel goes out first, so I went out. Now this is like 6 minutes of nothing going on. And then Tony Rush is like, why the fuck are they not queuing my music up yet? Like, what's going on? He comes out, he has no idea anything happened. He has no idea anything happened. So the opening spot's going on, I'm working Felipe, I have him against the rope, I'm hitting him. The one I choked down and his buddy are in the front row, and they're trying to pull them out, and I'm working them, and his buddy keeps going, you're an asshole, you're an asshole, you're a jerk off. And then eventually, like, they had someone grab him, like, all right, you guys gotta get the fuck out of here, you gotta go. And then Gino had him outside. For all you fucking idiots that thought that was a work, like all the boys from other companies that were like, oh, that's fake, Gino Caruso wouldn't just sit there as that was happening. What was he gonna do? I got over the guardrail faster than he actually got out of his seat. It was legitimate.
What did Gino tell you after that?
He goes, I'm not mad at you. And he goes, and if you didn't do anything, then I was never gonna use you again. You would have been fired. You would have been gone.
I love Gino because he's old school. He doesn't, and he backs you up, because a lot of other promoters would have been scared and said, "Oh no, why'd you?"
It's like, I don't get guys that don't promote themselves. I don't get guys that don't promote the show. You want to work in front of nobody? You want to work in front of the same, school bus that pulls in front of your building? the same 20 people, or do you want to get more eyes on your product? I don't get it. And then guys get mad why they're not, in better positions. Well, you're not helping yourself.
For the Niz, our sound technician, I'm Andrew. This is the big John Tella, the Bayonne Bruiser. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.